We need to find out the value of the following. We will begin with our first one. We have sine 75 degrees. Now there is no standard value for finding out sine 75 degrees without a calculator. Our task will be to find it with the help of known trigonometric ratios. For instance, sine 75 degrees can be also expressed as 45 degrees plus 30 degrees. So 45 plus 30 adds up to 75 degrees. Now when doing so, what we can do, we can expand it in the form sine A plus B. Now sine A plus B, when we expand it, this is equals to sine A times cosine B. And since we have a positive sign here, so it will be positive cosine A times sine B. So in that case, if we consider 45 degree to be equals to A and B is equivalent to 30 degrees, then using this particular formula, we can expand it to get sine 45 degrees times cosine 30 degrees added to cosine 45 degrees times sine 30 degrees. Now once we write in this expanded form, we can easily find out the value because sine 45 cos 30 cos 45 sine 30, these are standard trigonometry values, and we know that sine 45 is 1 over square root of 2 multiplied to cosine 30, which is square root of 3 over 2, plus cosine 45 degrees, so that's 1 over square root of 2 multiplied to sine 30 degrees, which is half. Now that means our final value is going to be square root of 3 over 2 times square root of 2, and in the numerator, since the denominator is the same, we can add up the numerator to get square root of 3 plus 1 in the numerator. So this is going to be the value of sine 75 degrees. Next, we move on to cosine 75 degrees. So using the same method, we can break down 75 degrees into 45 degrees plus 30 degrees. Now here, we will have to apply the formula. Let's note it down. We'll have cosine of A plus B, and this will be equivalent to cosine of A times cosine of B. Now for cosine of A plus B, we'll have the second term as negative times sine of A times sine of B. So we'll assume that 45 is equivalent to A and 30 is equivalent to B. Then this can be expanded to get cosine 45 degrees times cosine 30 degrees minus sine 45 degrees times sine 30 degrees. So let's find out the value. These are also standard values that we know. So cosine of 45 degree, that's 1 over square root of 2. So cosine 30 degree, that's square root of 3 over 2 minus sine 45 degree, which is 1 over square root of 2 times sine 30 degree, so that's half. Combining them, we get square root of 3 minus 1 divided by 2 times square root of 2. So this is going to be the value of cos 75 degrees. Next, part 3, we have to find out the value of sine 15 degrees. We can rewrite sine 15 degrees as sine of, so we can subtract 30 degrees from 45 degrees, and that should give us 15 degrees. Now what we'll do, we will use the formula for sine A minus B. So sine of A minus B, that's equals to sine A cosine B minus cosine A times sine B. Fine. So we will consider A to be equivalent to 45 degrees and B to be equivalent to 30 degrees. Then in that case, we can expand sine 45 minus 30 degrees as sine 45 degrees multiplied to cosine 30 degrees minus cosine 45 degrees multiplied to sine 30 degrees. Let's plug in the value. Sine 45, that's 1 over square root of 2 times cosine 30 degrees, so that's square root of 30 over 2 minus, we have cosine of 45 degrees, so that's 1 over square root of 2 times sine 30 degrees, so that's half. Combining these two fractions, so we get square root of 3 minus 1 divided by 2 times square root of 2. So this is the value of sine 15 degree. Now you can observe that cosine 75 degree came out to be square root of 3 minus 2 over 2 times square root of 2 as well. In this sense, we're getting the same value for cosine 15 degree as well as cosine 75 degree. That's because, let's say we have sine 15 degree. Now sine 15 degree can be also expressed as sine 90 degrees minus 75 degrees. So when you subtract 75 from 90, we get 15 degrees, and we are going to use the standard formula here. That means sine 90 degree minus theta. So that's equivalent to cosine theta, which means sine 90 minus 75 degree is equivalent to cosine 75 degrees. And that's the reason why we're getting the same value for sine 15 degree as well as for cosine 75 degree. So this will be also equals to square root of 3 minus 1 over 2 times square root of 2. Now let's go to the final problem. So we have to find out cosine 15 degree. So I'm leaving that as an exercise for you. Now cosine 15 degree will be exactly equals to sine 75 degree. That's because the cosine of 15 degrees, this can be also expressed as cosine of 90 degrees minus 75 degrees. We're going to use the fact that cosine of 90 degree minus theta, so that's equals to sine theta. So in our case, theta is 75 degrees. So we're getting cosine 15 degree exactly equals to sine 75 degree, and we've already found out the value. So cosine 15 degree will be square root of 3 plus 1 divided by 2 times square root of 2.